Hello and welcome to Eyewitness Report on Channels Television, a platform that affords you the opportunity to tell your story as it affects your neighborhood and community. Our follow-up on the clash between the military and youth of Izombe community in Oguta local government area points to a new development in which victims are being offered succor by the Imo State government. These and more on Eyewitness Report. I am Chris Elems. The recent attack on Abolongo correctional facility in Ibadan town, Oyo State, has put relevant authorities on their toes to ensure such facilities are well equipped and fortified against security breaches. 2 deaths were confirmed as the Governor Seyi Makinde and the Minister of Interior Ralph Aregbesola paid a visit to the center.
Videos show the extent of damages done on Abolongo Medium Security Custodial Center in the aftermath of an attack carried out by gunmen in the late hours of Friday, the 22nd of October. Doors, windows and protective bars shattered as the gunmen deployed explosives to forcefully gain access into the correctional facility. The invasion led to the escape of hundreds of inmates from the correctional facility. No one could tell what the mission of the gunmen was. In a swift response, armed prison personnel and other security operatives combed the neighborhood in a bid to recapture fleeing inmates. Their efforts paid off after all. Some prisoners trying to escape were rearrested immediately and brought back to the correctional center.
It was last night at about 10:05 that I got information from the officer in charge that the correctional center here in Abolongo was attacked by unknown gunmen. They came in a large number and there was sporadic shooting. And they had explosives. And they attacked the correctional center and freed inmates in custody. Some inmates in custody. Well, there was casualty. One of the inmates that wanted to jump a fence, I think he fell down and lost his life.
Accompanied by high-ranking officers of the Nigeria Correctional Service, the Minister of Interior, Ralph Aregbesola, conducted an inspection of the facility to assess the level of damage. He condemns the attack and vows to do all things possible to recapture fleeing inmates.
There have been consistent attacks on our facilities in Owerri and Kaba, now Oyo. This is not just some random happenings. I want you to go away with that fact. It's not just some random happenings. They are not spontaneous. They are well premeditated, coordinated, and highly aggressive attacks. These are premeditated, planned, and coordinated attacks meant to make Nigeria unsafe and ridicule the government. For the avoidance of doubt, the custodial system is at the heart of rule of law and justice system. Let me assure Nigerians of their safety of lives and property. Our custodial facilities are safe, and we are putting extra safety measures in place in light of the observed pattern of the external attacks we have seen to prevent any such occurrence in the future. This matter is being investigated as we have heard from the DCG operations, and we shall leave no stone unturned to get to the root of it. The remote and immediate causes and the vulnerability of our system and personnel, if any. There shall not be a repeat of our guards being overwhelmed again. I'm assuring Nigerians that there is no hiding place for any inmate that escaped from our facilities. None at all. This is because we have the records of all the inmates, including their biometric data, which are being forwarded to the Interpol, making it impossible for them to travel, apply for any travel document, engage in any financial transaction, or present themselves at any border post in any country in the world. They are fugitives and will remain on the run until we apprehend them or they expire themselves. And we shall surely apprehend them. We are going after every single inmate that has escaped from this custody. We shall hunt them to the ends of the earth. All the security agencies in the country are on their trail. We shall not rest or tire until we bring the last one in, dead or alive.
As the Chief Security Officer of the state, Governor Seyi Makinde also visits the center.
Let us know that this is a secured environment, please.
Governor Makinde might have been worried by the attack, more so on hearing that some inmates are on the run. He, however, appeals for calm and promises to put measures in place to forestall such attack in future.
Fortunately, we lost a soldier, also one Amatekun operative, and then the other one is on a danger list at UCH right now. Investigation is still ongoing. We can't say precisely whether this is an isolated event or this is the beginning of a wider issue that we have to deal with. But whatever the case is, we've made an assessment of here. We've taken some decisions, immediate decisions. We ask that the road from the main road to here be graded immediately. And we also said that we're going to position camera here and we will link it back to our security situation room. Not just here, but all other correctional facilities in the state. And we're also making a list of critical state assets that we need to monitor. And I've also asked that the entrance and exit points to this state be monitored. We still have almost over 300 of criminals that are still on the loose in the state. So efforts will still continue. Our appeal again, people should be calm. We have challenges around the country. You have insurgency, you have banditry, and we can only deal with those issues when we have the people in alignment with what the leadership are trying to do.
Officials of the Nigeria Correctional Service allay fears that some high-profile inmates have escaped from the facility. Authorities also confirmed the number of escaped inmates and those returned to custody.
We have recaptured 378 inmates.
Out of how many?
Out of 907 inmates. The number at large is 460 inmates at large.
At the time of this report, the search for the remaining fleeing inmates is ongoing. Other security agencies have also mobilized their personnel to support men and women of the correctional service in tracking down the gunmen and rearresting prisoners still at large. The federal and state governments are calling for supports from residents to help in this regard, urging them to report any movement of strange faces in their communities to the nearest security agency for immediate action.
Relief has come the way of victims of Izumbe violence. The Imo State government has commenced the distribution of palliatives to those affected by the recent security breaches at the oil-producing community in Oguta local government area.
This is what Izombe community looked like about 2 weeks ago after the violent clash between military officers and some restive youths in the community, leaving at least 5 people dead. Houses torched, public properties destroyed, not even the palace of the traditional rulers spared. Many are rented. After addressing an emergency security meeting at the government house, Governor Hope Uzodinma visits the area for an on-the-spot assessment. During the visit to the community, Governor Hope Uzodinma had promised to assuage the loss.
Yes, I have ordered immediate deployment of relief materials to the families and those who are displaced as a result of this incident. We've spoken to the people, we've calmed down nerves, and we will intervene and make sure we will create an environment of a harmonious relationship between the security agencies and the communities. And we will continue to fight crime. We are determined to fight crime. We will continue to fight crime until there is peace in the land. We are interested in the peaceful existence of our people. We are interested in making sure the environment is free of violence and criminality to enable innocent citizens go about their businesses. We are also committed as a government to ensure that everything that will strengthen the unity of the country is supported. And those things that will divide the country are discouraged. And I will engage further with the critical stakeholders and leaders of this area with a view to bringing to an end and providing a final solution to incidences like this so that it will not be repeated.
Days after, the state government is making good of that promise. Relief materials, which include food, mattresses and bedclothes, are distributed to victims. Relief also comes in form of cash.
It will help me for a meantime because for past 1 week now I'm in hospital. I was admitted in hospital. So I hope that government will still see us through. As they started with this one, the one that they will do in future will be greater than this.
From what I'm seeing here, it's a very encouraging situation from the executive governor of Imo State. I've not seen this kind of thing before. And first and foremost, let me condemn in its entirety the senseless act that happened in my village, Omoku. But from the ongoing, I want to say that I'm impressed by what the governor is doing here today. The people are happy, even though in tears.
Though the gesture is commendable, beneficiaries are also looking forward to assistance to rebuild their homes.
My problem lies in my house. If they can help me and give me a house also, because I need a house. I have 7 children, including my half. My 4 rooms are 1 parlor. My new house, everything was born. My old house, my building materials, everything was born. So I'm in fact, I appreciate the little I see, but I believe they will do more than this.
Beyond these efforts, residents want government to also provide empowerment programs for the youth population.
Begging our government to help us and also send people that will bring all the children that are proving stubborn in the states. Provide things that will make them so that they will not be sending many things, many bad characters and bad lives in the rural areas because they don't have work. That makes them, you see most of them, they'll be misbehaving, doing as if they don't have home, but they have home. Please, because if government should leave them so, they don't have time. It's we parents will be facing the problem.
The state government promises to consider their requests for the next level of intervention.
The governor promised that he's going to set up a committee, which he did. The committee are looking into those that are affected, especially the poorest of the poor. And we are coming to have a meeting, like a town hall meeting with them very soon. We're going to discuss with them to know how we can help them to rebuild. Restiveness cannot help any community to progress. So we are begging them, they are my brothers, and from here, we are begging them to make sure they don't allow this kind of thing to happen again in the future.
Food and shelter are necessities, more so is security. Improvement of security will go a long way in stemming series of unrests and violence witnessed recently in Izombe and other communities in Imo State. The state government is also investigating the case of the man.
Welcome back. It's good news that rail transport service on the Kaduna-Abuja route has resumed after it was suspended following an explosion that rocked the rail track.
It is only God that saved us, let me tell you.
Only God saved me.
Look at.
Because I was telling
this
person.
We cross this area. We pass this thing.
No. We pass no.
Let me carry the exhibit.
You see,
so look at.
Excuse me. Look at it. Complete.
Look at.
Let us go now. Let us go.
It all begins with this video sent in by our eyewitness reporter showing a portion of the rail line wrecked by explosives by bandits at the Rijana area of Kaduna State. The impact of the blast affects a passenger train from Abuja to Kaduna.
Just approaching Kaduna, about 40 kilometers to Kaduna, between Rijana and a village called Dutse. And then we had a loud sound, bam! And suddenly the train started moving slowly and then it came to abrupt stop. And from there we've not had anything from the officials until after 4 hours. And then another train came forward, a locomotive came and pushed us gradually. It took us 2 hours to get to Kaduna from that point. So all in all, we spent about 6 hours. We arrived Kaduna around 2 a.m. A trip that is supposed to take just about 2 hours took us 6 hours. And we were in that bush, the den of the bandits, so to say, in apprehension, and we were locked up in the train without water, and it's pathetic. Somebody needs to have that experience to tell you how we felt yesterday.
In order not to endanger the lives of its passengers, the Nigerian Railway Corporation immediately suspends all operations along the route. The suspension of train services leaves some visitors stranded for fear of returning to their destination by road.
I've been here since 9:15 a.m. this morning. Supposed to go with the 10:35 a.m. train to Abuja. So before it was 10:35, they gave us an update that the train has technical issues, so we should hold on, and when they get any information, because the network is bad, they'll get back to us, keep our tickets safe. So we've been waiting since then, and after like an hour or so, they called again and said, they announced again and said, it's still the same issue, and they still said we should wait and keep our tickets safe. So that's the only thing I've heard so far. I really did not want to go by road. I'm not in so much of a hurry, so I'll wait. If I don't see any train between 9 and 6 p.m., I'll just go back home because I have where to stay the night till tomorrow.
The waiting area becomes empty suddenly as passengers who had purchased travel tickets opted for the only alternative, road transport.
You can imagine after booking and coming here, you have different kind of news, though no authentic. Nobody has ever come to address the passengers. If you came here about 2 hours ago, you see a lot of people, but now people are leaving one after the other. I'm taking a drop now to Abuja, alternatively, because I'm bent on going back to Abuja today. What we want to do, everybody knows about the security situation in the whole of the country. If you decide to go home, by going home, things can still happen. So what do we do? My family is not staying here. I've stayed in Kaduna for about a month plus now. So I just want to go and be with my family.
If one has something important to do, we just have to travel and pray that God will secure the routes, while the security agents do their own part too.
Normal operations have since resumed at the Rigasa train station following the repair of the damaged portion of the track. Security personnel have also been deployed to the station and its neighborhood. Despite the resumption of operations and the deployment of armed security personnel, the train service at the Rigasa station is witnessing low patronage, unlike a weekend with high influx of passengers. This Abuja-bound train, with a carrying capacity of 928 passengers per trip, now has to travel with less passengers. More than half of the seats are empty.
A lot said, let the first trip go first. If there's no problem, they will come and take the second trip, because it's just too scheduled for today. Yes, sit down, they look. If nothing happens this first one, the second one will join.
For many, railway remains the safest mode of transport, despite the unfortunate incident. But they also want authorities to do more for improving security on the rail lines and environs.
I have a feeling it's still the best, the safest means of traveling between Kaduna and Abuja. Well, I think they should put more security men both on the road and on the air, because the Air Force people should be able to detect if there are some hoodlums in the bush, and I believe that should be able to annihilate them completely.
Restoration of the train service was a relief, and I would like to commend the Minister of Transportation, Honorable Rotimi Amici, for the bold step, and I urge him to do more, particularly in partnership with these relevant security agencies, to ensure that, yes, security, adequate and proper security is restored.
We have to reinstill confidence in our populace. This is done for the security and welfare of the general populace, and we have to continue patronizing the rail services. If everybody will do away with it, we can't. We have to assure Nigerians that we're true Nigerians and we're patriotic Nigerians.
While the train station records low passenger turnout, the commercial motor parks have been witnessing an upsurge.
Initially, people are really scared of traveling by road. They used to go to train. But what happened in the train station for the past 2 days make people to come back to route. Because initially, it's the bandits that make people go back to train. So now they have gone back to the train, people come back to cars.
Before the blast, there was a drop in road transportation. This is driven largely by rising fear of bandits who ambush travelers by road. It may just be a matter of time for activities to return fully at the Rigasa train station. However, the need for more investment in the security system around transport infrastructure cannot be ruled out.
It doesn't take much to be a reporter on this platform. Your pictures and videos of happenings around you are enough to tell your story and attract development or changes accordingly. Simply post your pictures and videos on our Eyewitness portal via the Channels TV app, which you can download from the various app stores online. We won't end the show without seeing some of the pictures you sent in for the week.
An incident of a collapsed building in the Kurudi area of Lagos State is the peak of eyewitness videos sent in for the week. Passers-by watch as emergency respondents carry out rescue operation before deploying a bulldozer to bring down the remains of the two-story building. 2 people were rescued from the collapsed structure located on Lagos Road in Ikorodu. Unfortunately, 1 person was brought out dead from the debris. The building is said to have been abandoned, while residents had been asked to vacate it.
Three people were trapped, and based on what we have, we mobilized all the stakeholders, especially those who are living there. So far, we recovered only dead body, and we've gotten to ground zero. With the ground zero, no indication of anyone trapped as at that time, as at the time of the completion. But because of the threat posed by this main building, so it had to be pulled up.
Thank you for sharing those images with us. On that note, we draw the curtain on this episode of Eyewitness Report. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. I am Chris Elems. Bye-bye.